I sold 1% of my eBay inventory in a single day. And this is in a store of almost 3,800 items. Yes, we sold over 38 items. Now, I know this doesn't look like much on the table, but let me explain to you what happened and how it happened, and then also give you a breakdown of all the stuff that we found thrifting over the weekend and on Monday. All right, first of all, we sold this shirt. This is a Peter Millar summer comfort shirt. It was a mojito all over print shirt. It took about a month to sell on this, and this was before I had my new, better setup, so definitely I could tell the pictures were not as good of a quality as the ones that I'm putting up now, and I'm definitely going to have some other clothing items from like 3, 4, 5 weeks ago that I need to go back and take better pictures of, but we got that. And then we had sold these 2 cards. These sold yesterday afternoon, and I thought that was going to be it. That was my 3 sales, right? Right now, if you know, we're trying to list 3 items a day, sell 3 items a day. And we got it. We got the 3 sales, and I was happy, and I was good. Well, at one point, I think it was right before bed last night, I saw someone had just started watching a whole bunch of different sports cards. And so I was like, you know what? I don't know. I just did what I normally do. I just sent offers, and I sent all of them. Most of them were like dollar offers or whatever, but I was like, who knows? Maybe they'll go and they'll just grab a whole bunch. Well, sure enough, they went through and they bought 36 different card listings. Some of them were lots. This was the biggest lot. And so, not this one on top here, but this lot you can see here, I took a bunch of cards. These are all from the same insert set, and I lotted them all up together. This is what I've been doing. Well, he bought that lot, but then he also bought from these, right? So these are ones that I have not yet gotten to lot up. Well, he just saved me a ton of work, because instead of me having to create a lot in a new listing, he bought not all, but a lot from that set. And then there was this one, which is a separate set. This was one card that I guess I missed the first time through that went with the lot, and then a couple others. And they're all similar insert sets from different years. But the point is, this was 36 items. So I sold 39 items, and we're at like, I don't know exactly, we're right around 3,800 total items. So literally, I sold 1% of my inventory in a single day. Now, am I rich? No, by no means. You know, like I said, for these 36 items, we're going to get about $1 on average per item, maybe a little bit more. I haven't looked at the final breakdown. But the point is, that's more capital that is now free to invest into the store in what I'm doing. And even though it doesn't look like it, it is slowly gaining more and more space for me as well as we try to transition this. So the ultimate goal here that we're working towards, I don't know how long it's going to take us to get. We want to buy 20 clothing items and sell 20 item clothings a day. That's what we're working to get towards right now. We are listing 3 a day and on average buying 3 a day, listing 3 a day, and we're selling 1 to 2 a day on average right now for clothing items, but we are selling 3 items a day, which I'm fine with right now, as long as the amount going into the store is equal or less than the amount coming out of the store, then I'm happy. So we listed 3 items and we sold whatever this ended up being, 39 items. And I am more than happy. I would do that for every single day, even if they were only dollar cards that we're trying to get out the store. But again, a good reminder. Oh, the one other thing too, for this, I have like a shipping charge on my cards, but if they buy 5 or more card items, then they get free shipping on the whole lot. So that's another way to induce people to really say, hey, yeah, why don't you go ahead and not just buy 1 or 2, buy more. Not everybody takes advantage of free shipping on 5+ cards, but those who do end up saving a bunch of money when they do that, and it entices people, and basically them buying more cards covers the cost of shipping anyway. All right, so let me run through this. This is all stuff. Some of it was from yesterday. Some of it I think was Friday that we did that. All right, in the wild, and I got to do more research on this. I did not spend any time researching this because it was only $6.99. I found a brand that I have never found actually in the wild at Goodwill, but we know it's out there, so I actually found it. It's Lululemon. It's a good size, 2XL. I don't even know exactly what it is. It's kind of like a long sleeve polo, but it's pretty thick and it's pretty heavy. So I don't know what it's going to sell for, but this is something like this. I don't even have to do the research. I know I'm going to pick that up, for $10 or less all day, every day. All right. Then we also grabbed this. Now I found out one of my Goodwills, they had $2 clearance yesterday for the yellow tags. So I probably would have passed on this for any other price, because I did sell a Johnston & Murphy shirt. They don't sell as well as the shoes do, but I did sell one that was new with tags, and I did not get as much for it. But at $2, and it's good color, and I'm pretty good with it. It's in really good shape. It does have the flip cuff, so it has some little extra. So for $2, we're going to take a gamble on this. Again, that's another one that I did not spend any time looking up in the store. This is another $2 purchase. These are kind of like, I'm a sucker for some of this older vintage stuff. It's not like crazy old vintage, but I still like it. The old Tommy Hilfiger and stuff. It'll sell. These usually don't sell for as much as I think that they're going to sell for. But again, at $2, I am good with that. And I found this one. This is full price. This is a Tory Richard. I do like Tory Richard. They're hard to find around me, and they're hard to find in good sizes. You can see this one is a 3XB. This is the cotton lawn material, which a lot of people really like. So it's still cotton, but it's kind of a little bit of a softer cotton. It's not that super hard cotton. So even though we're kind of near the end of summer, the pattern's fun. The size is huge. The shirt's in great condition. It is a newer tag, so it's kind of a more in-trend style right now. So we're going to be good with that. All right, what else we got here? All right, this one is, I didn't even know they made t-shirts. I'm going to tell you this. So this is a Peter Millar t-shirt, and it's got the Raleigh, North Carolina on it and everything. And so I was like, okay, we're going to just go ahead and grab this. It was only $3. Usually our t-shirts are like close to $5. So I was happy, like, it was a Peter Millar, and it was only $3. So I grabbed that. I couldn't find that exact shirt, but all the comps on Peter Millar t-shirts, like the sell-through rate is super high. All right, we got this McCulley's 100% pure cashmere made in Scotland sweater. This is like a nice fall, Halloween color. This is going to go to the top of the priority list. Get it listed, make sure we can get this sold, by Halloween, Thanksgiving. Someone who wants to just dress up as a super soft pumpkin or something like that. All right, we also had this shirt. Now this one, again, I've not really heard of it, but anytime you see like a name that kind of catches your interest. So this brand is called We Defy the Norm. It was $5, and I found a couple of shirts by this brand. It's got a little bit of an Illuminati vibe, not gonna lie. But anyway, I grabbed this with a tie-dye, and it looks like the sell-through rate on We Defy the Norm t-shirts looks pretty good. So we grabbed that. Grabbed a pair of shorts. These were a little bit, again, another brand. I think I've actually sold this brand before years ago, but Canterbury, New Zealand. And I looked again at the comps of the sold shorts, and these were cooler than any of the ones that had sold. They're cargo, they're Hawaiian cargo, khaki style. It's kind of almost like a khaki material. And so I use the tech and sports mode. If you can't find an exact comp, just compare it to the solds and say, is it cooler or less cool? And I use that quite a bit, and it works out pretty well. All right, another new brand. So yesterday was a day of discovering new brands for me. Some of these you probably are familiar with, but this Pins and Aces, and this one I also did the cool comparison test on. So Pins and Aces, so it's kind of got both a golf and like a poker vibe to it. But you can just see this print, this tiger print. Again, this was much cooler than most of the other sold comps that I was seeing for Pins and Aces polos, so we grabbed that. All right, what else did we grab? Grab this Tommy Bahama, extra large, 100% silk. I'll grab most of these, $7 or less. I can't remember. I might have gotten this one half off. I'll have to check later, but if it's $7 or less on 100% silk, Tommy Bahama, size extra large or higher that has any sort of decent pattern on it, you're going to be able to sell those for $20 to $25 if you're willing to wait consistently. And sometimes you'll get lucky and get even a little bit more for it. All right, I got another one here. This one, it's kind of partially faded out, but you can still see it. This is the Polo Ralph Lauren Performance. I literally sold one of these last week. It was maroon in color. So I was like, you know what? We're just going to hop right back on it. We're going to just take, in my mind, I just dedicated the money from the maroon shirt, and then we bought a blue shirt. And so again, what's the size on this one? Again, it's partly faded. This was extra large too. So I don't think we're going to have any problem moving that really quickly. Again, that's the nice performance sport material. And this is another one. I found a second shirt of this brand yesterday too, and it looked really good, except there was some massive staining on it, so I had to leave it behind. Straight down. So performance golf shirts. So I have not sold one yet, but all the comps look really good. It's a good size, extra large, and that was all good there. All right, then we found these vintage. Anybody want to guess the brand? You can guess the brand before I show it to you. Some of you who know this, I've actually sold this before a long time ago, but this is actually Levi's. Vintage Levi's Pantella. So anyway, comps are kind of all over the place, and I think it kind of depends on how patient you want to be. But there's always going to be a market for vintage Levi's. Even if they're not the classic jeans, there's going to be someone looking for it. You can see the tag is kind of coming out here.
And I couldn't even find an actual size tag in here, so we're just going to measure it, and we'll just put that dimensions in the listing title. All right, I also found these, and of course, anytime I see anything Americana like this, I'm always going to check it out first. And you're mainly looking to see if you can match the Americana with a good brand, because if you can match Americana with a good brand, then that's something that is going to work. And I'm trying to find this here because this was a Friday find from last week. See if I can find the tag. Anyway, I was able to find, I guess you'll just have to stay tuned until it sells. I was able to find, these are like vintage. There's the logo. I forget. Oh, here it is. There it is. Auto Mix. And so they do like, kind of like, this is like vintage, like, I don't know, like exercise or weightlifting or something like that. The comps on all these for this Auto Mix brand looked really good. And obviously we're past some of the patriotic holidays, but I think that there's still going to be enough give and take there that's going to be worth it. Again, I'm basing 90% of my decisions on either my knowledge of what has sold in the past for me, or based on the comps if it's a brand that's new to me. And so I'm just going to go off the data and the research. And sometimes you're going to end up being wrong. That's just the way things go. All right. Now, I've been trying to slowly get into blazers, and I figured, you know what? What's the best way? This yellow tag. We're going to get into blazers here at $2, because then you're really not going to be getting too much trouble. You can see it's a newer tag with a Polo Ralph Lauren, but again, for only $2, this is nothing super fancy, super special. It's a nice size, 44R, and it's a wool blend. It's a wool polyester blend, so nothing crazy. I would not have paid anywhere close to like $11 for it, but $2 sounded good for me on that one. Let's see. I think we had a second. Do we have a second one that was a yellow tag as well? Yep, a second one that was also yellow tag, so it paid only $2 for it. And this one was a Brooks Brothers Madison 1818. This is a 48R, so even bigger than the first one here. Sorry, trying to pull the tag up. Trying to see what this one actually is. This is 100% wool, so it's even a better quality than the previous one. So it's a Brooks Brothers blazer. And so what's nice, if you get in at these at like $12 or $15, you got to make sure that you can sell them for 30, 40, 50 to make decent profit. If you get them at $2, then even a sale at 25 plus shipping is going to net you some profit. All right, now this one, you can see $12.99. It's green. Green was half price, so $6.50. And this one was Polo Ralph Lauren Polo University Club. And so it's like a little bit of an older style. It is smaller. It's 38S. This is a silk wool linen blend, so a triple blend. So again, we're in this at what, $6.50, and silk wool linen blend. And so with the color, I decided to go for it because the material, it is on the smaller size, but we're going to give that a try. And I'm trying to slowly build out some, because blazers, it's a lot of work to go through all of them. It's kind of pants and jeans, which I also need to learn. But I've done some work with blazers in the past. It's like, okay, you know what? I'm pretty good with polo shirts. I'm pretty good with button-down shirts. I'm decent with shorts, decent with swimwear. Blazers is the thing that I have at least a little bit of knowledge in my head. So once I get that down and feeling more comfortable there, then I'll probably move on to jeans and pants. But I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm trying to stick with stuff that I already have some knowledge of. Because right now, it doesn't matter. There's so many new brands out there that are new to me. It takes me 2 hours to do a single thrift store and make sure that I'm not missing anything. But I'm willing to put in the work on the front end of learning this stuff, as well as learning when I'm not at a thrift store. But it's always easier for me to really personalize it when I'm at the thrift store and I find a new tag and I do that. And I'm going to tell you, the pile of clothes that goes in my cart at the thrift store is 4 or 5 times as big as this. And then I go through and I learn and then I super check for stains. I mean, I miss things every now and then still, but overall, we've been right on the money. We haven't had, I discovered one shirt this morning that had a little hole in it that we missed in the store. And sometimes just when you get it under the light to take pictures, you notice things that you just can't see in those stores. So that's the way it goes. You're always going to miss little things now and then, but I'm not missing a lot of the big things. I have kind of a routine thing of what I'm checking. So this obviously takes up less space than this, but it's still heading the store in the right direction. So this is 1% of the store gone, sold, and then we're going to be adding 0.1% back every day as we add 3 into 3,000 for now, until we see consistently the sales creep up to that 3 a day, 4 a day. I want to make sure I can maintain a draft bank that has 3 listings for a couple weeks out. So we're ready to go with that. So as always, let me know, what are you learning about eBay and what are you selling on eBay? Put that down in the comments below.